Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Holston Valley Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Tiffany Anderson, the minister of this church, and my pronouns are she and her. Wow, you guys are super brave coming out today. Thank you for joining us for Fire Communion. If you're visiting for the first time today, you are especially welcome. Michelle at the visitors table by the door can help you get oriented if you have any questions. If you have little ones, our greeters can show you the way to the nursery, which is available during the service for children ages 6 and younger. Please be aware that our services are filmed and posted on YouTube, and there's a chance you might be seen in our YouTube videos. That is especially true today since it's an interactive service. So if you want to make sure you are not on camera, you need to sit in the perfume-free zone over here or in the section closest to the back table by the library. If you're over here or over here, you're probably going to end up on YouTube today. Today, we celebrate the possibilities of the new year by releasing whatever we don't need to bring with us into 2025. We will let it all go right into a fire that is being prepared outside for us. Time keeps on flowing. The past is already behind us, and the future is always before us, and the present moment is often a gift. This present moment, right here and now with you all, it's a good. And in the coming year, we will look to the possibilities of the future, but we start the way by clearing the way with fire. Let's set our intention for a bright future and for freedom from the past by singing hymn number 350 in our thicker gray hymnal. This is the ceaseless flow of endless time. Let's rise in body or spirit and raise our voices together. This is hymn number 350 in our thicker gray hymnal. People have always known that fire was special. Long, long ago, before people made matches or candles or even made houses, people knew fire was special. There was the great fire in the sky, the sun, which made the earth warm and made night into day. And there were smaller fires that people made, fires that cooked their food, kept them warm, and brought them light. People honored the fires because fire was special. Fire was more than human. Fire has power. It can create and it can destroy. It can bring light and it can burn. Fire can be wonderful and fire can be terrible. We have to be careful with fire. And so people thought that fire was something sacred and holy. Some people even worshiped fire and said that fire was a deity, like a goddess or a god. Other people said that fire wasn't actually the deity, but meant that the deity was there. No matter what they believed, people all over the world gave fire a special place in their religions. They had fires in their homes, of course, to cook food and keep warm, and they also had sacred fires in their temples. They set sacred lamps on their altars. They lit sacred bonfires outside on the hilltops and in the groves. They placed sacred torches near the graves of those who had died. We still do this today. In Washington, D.C., near the tomb of the unknown soldier, burns an eternal flame that never goes out. In churches at Christmas time, many Christians light 4 candles on an Advent wreath. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, Jews light the 8 candles of the menorah. At Diwali, Hindus set lamps all around the house. And when Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a chalice. This is our sacred fire. Please join us in a moment of quiet contemplation as we begin our fire communion gathering.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Wanda, and I'm your service leader this morning. And I can tell you that I am bringing forth something that I just wish I hadn't. But right before Christmas, my little toe had a bad encounter with the chair leg. So I'm bringing forth a little bit of pain and hopefully a lot of healing for the new year. So I'm moving a little slower this morning, so just bear with me as I continue, hopefully, my healing. And I suspect there's been several of you in this audience that have suffered the same malady, and we can commiserate over a cup of coffee. But I thank you for your presence. It's wonderful to be buoyed by your smiles and your spirit. And a special thank you to the caring team, who seems to just automatically know when your pain level is the highest and you just need a card that says, hey, we're thinking about you and hope you get better soon. So a shout out to our caring team. We are so lucky to have that resource in our congregation. We have already known that fire is a symbol of our transformation, and it turns wood into ash and a cold building into a warm one. When I walked in this morning, this one was a little chilly, and now it's much warmer. It turns raw food into a dinner, and it creates opportunity for letting go, and that's what we'll be doing today. Our vision for community here is also one of transformation, that we will always be changing both individually and collectively. And we say our vision statement about transformation every Sunday, and we'll do that as lights our chalice. We invite to come and light our sacred fire, our chalice. She is an 8th grade student, and after my own heart, she loves crafts and reading. As she lights the chalice, please join me in saying our vision statement about our transformation. It's written in your bulletin. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder. One special part of our church community is the story for all ages, and we have that now. And we invite the kids and the parents and the youth of all ages to make their way down front, in front of the chalice, where we'll hear a little bit more about our fire communion.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes, hi, I'm the problem. So it's really good to see you guys. How is your new year going so far? Yeah, we're just a couple days in, haven't had to go back to school yet, so it's probably okay. Well, so today we are celebrating the new year here with a service that we all get to participate in called the Fire Communion. So I thought we would take a second to think about fire here. Fire is a symbol that a lot of religious and spiritual paths use. Can you think of how we use the fire here every week? Chalice. It's pretty obvious, right? Is there anything else we do with fire every week? We light the candles of community. Yeah, we light the community of candles. Very good. So we do light candles almost every week for our joys and sorrows, which symbolize our support of each other, and we light our chalice every week. Does anyone know where the tradition of lighting our chalice comes from? What was that?
Oh, we were talking about burning our faith.
Oh, okay. That's good too. We're excited about burning stuff today. So here's the story about the chalice. I'm going to try to tell it as quickly as I can. Over 80 years ago, during World War II, there were a lot of people having to leave Europe because a group of people called the Nazis were putting people into prison camps for all sorts of things that we normally wouldn't put people in prison for. Things like being a different religion, or being gay, or even just thinking differently from the people who were in charge and saying things that the people in charge didn't want us to say. So it was a scary time for a lot of people. So there was this group called the Unitarian Service Committee. They had an office in a country called Portugal that is on the edge of Europe, and a lot of people were coming to Portugal to try to escape the Nazis. Many people had to leave their homes in the middle of the night and not bring anything with them. And so that means they didn't have paperwork that said that they were allowed to leave Europe and come to the United States where they would be safer. So the Unitarian Service Committee started making their own paperwork, certifying that people were traveling to the United States on Unitarian Service Committee business, sponsoring refugees to come to the United States. And I gotta tell you, it's kind of funny to me that social justice work involves so much paperwork sometimes. But this time, it was definitely paperwork that were saving people's lives, which is awesome. Because they wanted their paperwork to be as official looking as possible, they designed a logo. And the logo that they designed was our flaming chalice, which you can see right there on the screens. It's the first time it was ever used. They chose the flaming chalice because fire has always been a symbol of change and hope and power. So every time we light our chalice here, we remember that we have the power to help people and that sometimes our kindness might even save someone's lives. And to help you all remember your power, we have some very simple chalices here for you with an electric tea light. These chalices are plastic. They won't do well with actual fire, so please make sure to only use the electric tea lights. Later in the service, we're going to remember our power to help the world become a safer and kinder place. And when we do this, I want you to light your little tea light candle and remember that we all have the power to help. So for now, we're going to go back to our seats, but I want you to come pick out a chalice you want to take with you, and this is yours to keep. And then when it's fire communion, I want you to make sure to listen to your trusted adult when we are working with actual fire, okay? So come on up here and get a chalice.
Your calendar is not playing tricks on you today. It really isn't the fifth Sunday. It's the first. But because for our fifth Sunday we had a delicious pancake and jam last week, we decided that it would be better to collect our special offering this Sunday, the first. So don't go looking around at your calendar and figuring out something went wrong. Our fifth Sunday collection today is from Rise, Healthy for Life, and that's our chosen offering recipient today. And just a little bit of information about Rise. You might have been part of its original congregation orientation because it was the old OWL program. And many of you, I see, were probably teachers in that program. And it inspired by a vision to offer comprehensive educational-based sexual education to the wider community, not just members of our congregation. And they work to change culture by educating and empowering youth as well as kindergarten through older adults. Truly, comprehensive sex ed leads to a healthier, more respectful relationships, self-confidence, and more reliable decision-making. We have with us today our member Cindy Huss, who was one of those original founding OWL members and teachers. And she's going to tell us a little bit more about Rise. So please, Cindy, do that for us now.
Thanks so much, Wanda. I'm really excited to be up here. I don't know if you all know what an awesome congregation we have. We have a really awesome congregation. And about 7 years ago, some members of the congregation decided to try to take comprehensive sex ed into the community because I don't know how much you know about sex ed in Tennessee, but it is not comprehensive, it is not affirming, it is not responsible or inclusive. And that leaves especially the most vulnerable youth among us in trouble, but it also is a problem for all the adults in the area who also never received great sex ed. So the church graciously agreed to be our fiscal sponsor. We started out as an outreach of HVUC, then they became our fiscal sponsor, and in 2020, we became our own 501c3. We have an office in Johnson City, and last year, we reached nearly 2,000 people through 50 workshops and tabling throughout the community. We developed 7 new programs to meet needs that community partners had identified for us, and we distributed nearly 120 books to youth and adults about topics that they had classes on. We gave away more than 16,000 prevention products. We gave away more than 3,000 period products. And we run programs like our Teens Rise program, where we work with teens in the area to make sure they have the information that youth their age need to lead healthy sexual lives. And then they can also come to us if they have questions or situations that they don't know how to handle. And we'll coach them and provide resources for them to share with their peers. So we have peer sex educators in the high schools in the area as well. And they also do legislative advocacy work and have done since they began in 2020. So we do lots of great stuff. I feel so honored to be part of the organization, and I look around and I see both OWL and Stellar Sex Ed facilitator trainees in here, and I know there are more who aren't here. Stellar Sex Ed is a homegrown sex ed based on the needs of our community. And because of the generosity of this organization, HVUC, at the beginning, it gave us the start we needed, and we've had more than $200,000 in grants since then to help keep us going. So today, I'm asking for you to give as you're able to support this organization in the community. It's getting harder and harder to do this work. The legislative environment is getting more and more hostile, and in fact, they added legislation last year that very narrowly defined a specific video that is not accurate that must be taught in sex ed curricula. So these are the sorts of things that we're combating. So thank you so much in advance for your generosity. And don't worry if you forgot your checks or your money like I did this morning. We also have a QR code that leads directly to our donations page. Thank you.
If you wish to support RISE's work in the Tri-Cities, there should be a white envelope in your bulletin, and you can put that donation in there. And when the regular offering is passed at the end of the service, you just put your contribution to RISE that's in the white envelope in the bowl, and we'll add it to the contribution. And it is a joy that our congregation can support such meaningful work. So as we come to this table of fire, let's share our joys and concerns with each other. If you'd like to share a joy or a sorrow in person, please use these candle cards. They are located on that back table. And if you'd like to share a joy or a concern from a distance, you can email me at minister@hvuuc.org. I want to thank everyone who organized, cooked, performed, and attended Pancakes and Jam last Sunday. It was a delightful gathering, and it brought joy to a lot of us. Another joy, candle of gratitude, is for the work of the Giving Tree this season. A huge thank you to Mary and to Michelle and to everyone who contributed items, to the women's group that bagged items, to the people who came out and decorated that tree. It was so cold. To the people who decided that the weather was looking bad and went ahead and took the tree down for us. Thank you for anticipating that. It's just such a joy to see our community involved in helping the unhoused population of Johnson City. So thank you so much for your participation in the Giving Tree. And we have a candles card for William Kaufman today. William is on chemotherapy again, but he is responding well to treatment. So please, if you know William, please keep him in your hearts. And here's my prayer for the new year, that we treat each other gently. And in that gentleness, we hold our joys and sorrows together, holding space not just for ourselves, but for each other. And that these moments of care hold all of us when we are near and when we are far away. We light these candles as a sign of the gravity of our lives, and collectively, a table full of fire and light becomes a weight of the lives that we hold together as a community. May we see each other in all of our intentions and impacts. May we hear each other in both what is spoken and in what is unspoken. May we know each other a little bit better today and carry each other's light throughout this year. If you wish to light your own candle, please approach the side of the table that is closest to you, and the closer candle keeper will assist you. Please light the candles at the back of the table first so that no one has to reach over an open flame. And if you wish us to light a candle for you, please raise your hand until I acknowledge you, and I will light a candle for you. When our candle lighting is done, we will lift our voices together with hymn 123, Spirit of Life. And our community is so much larger than just those of us who are in the building this morning, and so we light a candle to hold space for those who are not physically present with us, but are ever in our hearts. You may come. And we light a final candle for all that remains unspoken in our hearts and minds.
I'm Wendy Hurl. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve the church as the chair of the Committee on Ministry. I wrote this poem in November in reaction to events, current events. It's called Culture Shock. It's not culture shock, it's future shock. The car crash in slow motion, the tornado funnel forming, The forces of forward and backward motion push against each other, twining around the arrow of time like the snakes circling the caduceus. The awful, slow grinding away of the struts and braces. The amygdala and prefrontal cortex fire at each other in neural conflict. One by one, the cards are dealt with trembling hands. First, the fool, trickster crouching in the midst of men drunk with their own effluvia, staring raptly in mercury mirrors. We took a moment only to catch our breath, and the pregnant possibility became malignant growth, forced to carry to term. Next card, death. Winter falls with a crushing blow, like the period at the end of a long sentence. Turpentine spills on the canvas, colors mixing in a muddy brown. Retreat into shadows, but the seeds conceal their holy fecundity, waiting, waiting. Then the hanged man. Voices build to a roar, fists open, hands clasp. The spell is broken. The audience blinks and gapes before moving forward with terrible purpose. The fire, having nothing left to consume, sputters in impotence and is gone. The first is made last, the last first. Finally, the lightning-struck tower, the flower in the crematory ashes, an old photo found in a ruined house, a gasp of air after breaking the surface, tentative smile from cracked lips, the mud settles to the bottom. But remember, they're only pieces of paper. The wheel turns, hearts change, love abides, and the future is elusive. Do you know the black swan? She appears without warning, and then everything changes.
I spent this New Year's Eve at the skate rink in Bristol. Party hats, noisemakers, a balloon drop, counting down from 10 while an ABBA song played. Oh yeah. Children, teens, and adults were grinning at each other, counting down the end of the old and the beginning of the new. Right before the countdown, the MC for that night said something that got my attention. He said he was so ready for 2024 to be over and that he knew we were too. I knew from spending most Saturdays at this skate rink and from just paying attention that this guy and I differed on a lot of things. I'm sure we didn't share the same religion. There was a 78% chance that we didn't vote the same in November. And we clearly had a very different set of life experiences. And yet, here he was, just as relieved as I was that 2024 was over. It's been a rough year. That doesn't mean there weren't bright spots. Babies and weddings and laughter among friends. Achievements of goals, appreciation, recognition, incredible moments of grace and love and community woven into the tapestries of our lives. But there were a lot of challenges. And there have been times that the weight of those challenges have felt really heavy. To quote my best friend, 2 days before New Year, I am just so tired of being strong. Wendy's tarot poem outlines the mood so well. The Fool, Death, the Hanged Man, the Tower. That's a lot. It's a lot. I'm a bit of a tarot nerd myself. Here's my mixed media acrylic pour representation of the Ten of Swords. You know, Sometimes we lose a battle. And the power of these cards is that we go ahead and acknowledge the painful realities that are present in our lives. Truth, the Ace of Swords, offers us necessary clarity, even if it doesn't feel that good. And one of those truths is that we are very much in need of this fire communion, this fresh start. This ritual is about burning away those things that we don't want to bring forward. We have sat with the weight of these challenges, disasters, disappointments, griefs for months. The mud has settled in the stirred up ponds of our hearts, and maybe that means we can start seeing through the muck, seeing through the pain, and figuring out how we want to act with clarity. Because this year we'll need our clarity, our courage, our power, our will, our strength. The strength of this community, united around shared values and vision. And in order to get there, we're going to have to let go of some things and move forward into the calling of this moment. After all, both these tarot cards and the things that we're going to write down and throw into the fire, they are only pieces of paper. The wheel turns, hearts change, love abides, the future is elusive. And an elusive future means that there's room. There's room for curiosity and hope. There's room for a love that is bigger than all of us, a love that can hold all of us. We will keep going, and we will keep serving the callings of love because, y'all, there isn't any other choice. And today is the day that we get free of the burdens that we are carrying that we no longer need. Today is the day to release the fear and the despair. Today is the day to gather the power of fire and envision the day that we arise from the ashes. There's no coincidence that the death card is also the phoenix. They're only pieces of paper. They are tools for our free and responsible search for truth and meaning, and it is the meaning that we pull out of them, the meaning and connections that we wish to make that can give us the insight and the path forward if we wish to take it. Playing with the inspiration of tarot that Wendy brought to us, I pulled a tarot card for today's fire communion, and I drew the Two of Wands. Wands is the tool of fire. Two speaks to partnerships and building upon new beginnings. It is the card of initiative, and my tarot book says this about the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands marks the first step toward your desire. You stand at the door to your future, contemplating the way. Have confidence in yourself. Do not doubt the light bulbs going off in your head. It's time. It's time to move forward, to make the first step toward our vision, to be the people, the beloved community that 2025 needs. What is the future that your passion, your inner fire is calling you to? And what do you need to burn away in order to get there?
This new year calls us forward, filled with mystery. As we turn toward the new year, we take a final glance at the past year and reckon with all that it held for us, broken toes and all. In your bulletins, you'll find a piece of paper, and there are probably two of them. It's not intended that you cleanse your soul completely, But if you have someone sitting beside of you that didn't get a bulletin, well, it's nice to share one of those papers with that person. You also find some pens at the end of the row, if you will pass those back for anybody that didn't have a pen. So if you take your piece of paper that you have and reflect on the year behind you, the one that you are leaving behind, consider those things. Burn it brightly in the fire and look at the forms and disappears. What parts of our lives have what things and ideas and people and ways of living that have become obstacles for you? What's holding you back? What's getting in the way of you living fully as you'd like to? What might you burn away? What will you relinquish this morning? Write a word or two on your paper. Nobody will see it but you and the fire and the universe. While you reflect on what you'd like to burn away, we're going to play some reflective music that you'll hear in the background. And when you're finished with your paper, fold it up and make your way outside. Just walk down the corridor, and there's a nice fire pit waiting for you. And you can cast that paper into that fire and stand there and watch it burn away and feel that relief when you do so. Free of your burdens before you return inside. And if for some reason you might be a little on the immobility side that I am, and if you don't wish to or not able to make your way outside, Reverend Tiffany is going to help gather those for you, and she'll do the burning for you. The cleansing, though, will be yours.
Friends at home, I hope you can think about what you want to let go of too, because we are casting that in the fire for you. May your 2025 be blessed. With a sense of lightness and celebration for our burdens cast into the fire, let's join together in rhythm and dance. This is a time for everyone to join in and celebrate the renewal of the new year. If you brought a drum, join in. If you'd like to come get a noisemaker, you can come up here and join in. If you'd like to clap, join in. If you'd like to dance, no one's gonna stop you. Our elder drum is going to lead us, and then we'll all join in when we're ready.
Well, I feel uplifted. In this new year, may we leave behind the weight of unfilled realizations and unrealistic expectations. May we unpack the heavy weight of stories that tell us that we are unworthy and unlovable. In this new year, may we carry kindness, gentleness, and hope that holds us through even the hardest days and the most daunting risk. May we carry the weight of memory that reminds us of who we are, and the weight of memory and the weight of spirit that reminds us of who we are becoming. May we carry the seed of knowledge that teaches us that improvement and growth aren't linear or individualistic, but we are cyclical and communal. Within our church family, we grow. May we carry the wisdom to seek rest and connection, to learn, to lean in to mutual care. May we carry the certain belief that when we have patterns of thinking and behaving that harm ourselves and others, may we seek resources that will help us move forward toward the self that we want to be. And may we carry the knowledge of happiness and success take many shapes, and one of those shapes is purpose. May we carry purpose lightly, trusting that it changes and evolves and, yes, surprises us. May we carry curiosity and wonder and ability to be surprised. This year, may we carry space for all our flaws, all of our longings, and all of our love, remembering that the truly daring adventure of life is not to be better, best, but to show up wholly, authentically, and lovingly as ourselves. May we carry these prayers and carry each other into the new year. Blessed be. Well, so please rise in body and spirit as Rachel leads our choir and you in our closing hymn 1028, The Fire of Commitment. And I so appreciate your being here and uplifting for me as well. So go in peace.
Thank you so much for your generosity this week and every week, and a special thank you to our guest accompanist for filling in the last minute. And here's our benediction. May justice lead us to the calling of this moment. May wonder meet us right where we're at. May we discover our collaborators and our companions, and may love guide us on our journey of transformation. Blessed be, amen, and go in peace.